Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining me every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. Thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in this channel, do share it with your friends and spread the message. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Thank you for your support. Jaydev joins me in this session. Welcome, Jaydev.
Good evening to all the viewers once again.
Okay, moving on to the first piece of news. While nothing further has been heard about Pon Kundra's case, we see Shilpa Shetty's laughter getting more and more hysterical in the music shows where she is one of the judges. Now, Shilpa Shetty is a victim of Richard Gere in 2007 obscenity case, according to the court. The complaint against Shilpa Shetty was that she did not protest when kissed by Richard Gere. Actress Shilpa Shetty has been cleared by a Mumbai court in an obscenity case that was filed in 2007, 14 years ago, reports media. Ms. Shetty was the victim in a controversial kiss involving Hollywood star Richard Gere. The court decided Shilpa Shetty and Gere were at an AIDS awareness event held in Rajasthan in 2007 on stage. Richard Gere repeatedly hugged Shilpa and planted a kiss on her cheek. Several complaints and protests nationwide followed. The complaint against Shilpa Shetty was that she did not protest when kissed by Richard Gere. The case was transferred from a Rajasthan court to Mumbai on the order of the Supreme Court. The Mumbai court discharged Shilpa Shetty on January 18th, reports PTI. It seems that the accused Shilpa Shetty is the victim of the alleged act of accused number one, Richard Gere. Not a single element of any of the alleged offense is being satisfied in the complaint, Metropolitan Magistrate Juhi Chawla said in the court order. This, by no stretch of imagination, makes her a conspirator or perpetrator of any crime. The court order was made available on Monday. Richard Gere, effigies of whom were burnt after the controversial kiss, apologized later for causing offense. Shilpa Shetty described the protests as overreaction. The actress, now 46, has not commented on the court order. Well, here, Jaydev, the fact is that, see, all these things seem like, as if she's a babe in the woods. What has transpired after that with Kundra has taken, a far graver, journey than all this. This is nothing as to what the couple are doing now. Yeah, back to you.
Yeah, I would like to add to this point is that
Yes,
she craves for publicity, and the only way of her being in the limelight is by bringing up these controversial moments from the history and still being in the news. So
yeah,
that's one way
absolutely.
of being in the limelight, whether it's
All the time.
positive or negative. Yeah.
Yes. In fact, there's also a news that, her sister got
Mhm.
on top of another person in Big Boss to give him a massage. Now, we all know where the whole family belongs. So, just as you said, attention is what they all want.
Yeah, and there's one comment here. I'll just read it out. Is from Chitra. She was a victim because the world is conspiring against. She was a victim when she was part of the Big Boss UK show. She won the title, crying discrimination against her because of her color. So this is all, like things to sort of
Ponder about.
which worked in
Yeah,
her favor actually.
yeah,
So she knew how
absolutely.
to play the victim card, and
Yeah. And
she
now her sister is playing the victim card.
yes, yes, yes.
Hmm. Yeah.
So coming to the next piece of news is in UP election. Now our government is coming. We will take revenge against each one of you. This is what SP leader Adil Chaudhary threatens. Adil Chaudhary further alleged if BJP comes to power, they will take away the right to vote from Muslims. He said, "See, if you do not act now, in future they will take away your right to vote." What was NRC? They wanted to take away the right to vote from you. So on January 23, a video of Samajwadi Party leader Adil Chaudhary started making rounds on social media, in which he heard threatening Hindus of consequences once SP comes to power. The video was shared on Twitter by Poonam Chand Sidhu. In the 30-second video, Adil said, I could not file FIR, but he said, you should not worry. We are coming back to power. Inshallah, we will not leave them. The way they are treating us, we will take revenge, and we will make sure they think 100 times before taking any action against us. My brothers, it's not a small fight. The video went viral on social media and netizens were outraged over the way he was threatening Hindus. Now, Satya Kumar is BJP's national secretary. He also shared a video and said his name is Adil. He's a candidate for SP. They have started threatening us. We are coming back, and that too with over 300 seats. We will teach these elements a lesson. Sambit Patra said, this is Adil Chaudhry. He says when the party comes to power, he will take revenge on us Hindus. What kind of Uttar Pradesh SP wants to build by giving tickets to gangsters and mafia? Is it essential? It is essential for the Yogi government to come back to power so that the bulldozer treatment can continue for such elements. Interestingly, it's not a fan recorded video of a meeting Adil was attending. The 30-second clip was part of a 5-minute Facebook live video that is available on Adil's Facebook page. In the video, Adil said when Corona happened, there were no hospitals. Why hospitals were not there? The government did not build a hospital because they thought Muslims would be benefited from them. The government wants to ruin the lives of Muslims, but I want to assure you, if you remember just a year ago, no one would have thought this government could be removed. But the farmer protest laid down the foundation of removal of BJP from power. Now everyone is with Samajwadi Party. Adil alleged police killed Muslims in fake encounters and claimed his party would book all the officers involved in the encounter of Muslims during Yogi Adityanath's tenure. He said these people are liars. You see, if anyone dares to speak against them, they file cases against them and law enforcement agencies haunt them. This government has demolished a lot of houses among you. My brother, you have seen how 5 Muslims were shot dead in Meerut. I want to assure you all the officials involved will be booked. These were fake encounters. These officers will not be spared. It is time to take revenge. We will treat them well so that they think 100 times before doing anything. When our party was in power for 5 years, our leaders did not think the government could run like this. Now we understand this is how the government works. I want to tell the Tele community and the Brahmin community are with us. All communities want the BJP should be removed from power. Now, here I would like to stress, he says that I want to tell you that the Brahmin community are with us. Who is he kidding? Like, he's saying that we will threaten you Hindus. So Brahmins are not part of Hindus. So he's contradicting himself, right?
Absolutely.
See how prices are rising. They filed fake cases over electricity bills. They sent our brothers to jail and imposed penalty worth lakhs. He further alleged if BJP comes back in power, they will take away the right to vote from Muslims. He said, see, if you do not act now, in future they will take away your right to vote. What was NRC?
Absolutely.
They wanted to take away the right to vote from you. So Adil Chaudhry is the SP candidate in Meerut. He said they have taken the right away. They would have taken away your right to vote and threw you in jail. I'm telling you, it is Allah's doing. Allah made it possible for farmers to start a revolution. Now, in recent time, multiple videos have surfaced on social media where people of a particular community have been seen threatening Hindus of consequences once SP comes to power. So, yeah, this is the latest from UP election scene as of now.
Yeah, absolutely. So here, see, one thing very clear, Jaidev, is that, see, people should be scared of the red topi. Now, red topi signifies problem for the people in case this party comes to power, which means red means just like the cow is scared of red. This is a red alert for UPIs. If they vote for SPA party, then they are going to get trouble, and they're going to see what are the things that they're promising. They're promising revenge against a section of people, which means the Hindus. In our own country, Hindus will be, ostracized. What is the meaning of it?
It's like the old British Raj of divide and rule by community, race, and religion.
Yeah, well, it can't happen in India because in India, Hindus are not going to allow it to happen. And what is Yogi talking about? Yogi is talking about peace, love, harmony, progress, and he's walking the talk. Every time he, shows something, he's talking about highways. He's talking about progress, and these people are talking about revenge, killing, ostracizing, and that they will not allow us to vote. Who are they? Not even one person should vote for this party.
It is very shocking what he's saying.
Yeah, absolutely shocking. They get all the goons, the criminals.
I don't know how he is not punished.
Yeah, and they get these criminals as their candidates, and they want to vote for them, so that they'll put us in jail. What sort of a thing does Akhilesh Yadav think? Does he think people are idiots? Okay, back to the next piece of news. Taslima Nasreen clarifies surrogacy tweet wasn't targeted at Priyanka Nick after Twitter outrage. After Taslima Nasreen's comments about surrogacy created a Twitter war, the author clarified that her tweets had nothing to do with Priyanka Chopra and Nick Jonas. The tweets were made by the author after Priyanka and Nick announced about welcoming their baby via surrogacy. It was on January 21st when Priyanka Chopra and Nick Jonas announced that they have welcomed their first child via surrogacy. While congratulations poured in from all quarters for the couple, author Taslima Nasreen made a series of posts about surrogacy that resulted in Twitter outrage. Twitter stood divided as some sided with the author's opinion, others shunned Taslima for her remarks. Following the Twitter furore, the author, through her latest series of tweets, clarified that her comments had nothing to do with Priyanka and Nick adopting a child through surrogacy. She also pulled out old tweets made to Priyanka and Nick in the past to prove that she is indeed fond of the duo. The author made certain comments about surrogacy that didn't fare well with the netizens, since her thoughts on surrogacy were posted right after the couple announced they welcomed their child via surrogacy. Twitterati thought of it as an attack on PC. However, Taslima has now taken to Twitter to clarify that her opinion on surrogacy wasn't projected towards the couple. She said, "My surrogacy tweets are about my different opinions on surrogacy. Nothing to do with Priyanka and Nick. I love the couple." Her next tweet in line could be read: "Many support surrogacy as individual choice, but do not support any individual opinion. If that opinion is critical of surrogacy, some intolerant folks went further to ban my Twitter handle. Actually, they do not support anything individual. They support collective arrogance." Her next tweet reads, "People are abusing me for my comments on surrogacy. They claim it's a Stone Age idea to not rent wombs for making babies. I suggest to adopt homeless children and to not invade a poor woman's body. Actually, it's a Stone Age idea by any means to reproduce babies for following traits." She also pulled out old Twitter posts made to Priyanka to express her fondness towards the latter. One of her first tweets in the series read, "Some people have gone crazy to show I'm Priyanka's enemy, but I always admire her. Prostitution, rape, surrogacy, domestic violence, male domination, patriarchy are the issues I often talk about. Here is one of the old tweets on Priyanka." Another one reads, "Here is another old tweet. I loved her. I still do." On January 22, she shared a series of tweets on surrogacy. This was done after the couple announced their first child, and people took it as an attack on the actress. How do these women feel when they get their ready-made babies through surrogacy? Do they have the same feeling for the babies like the mothers who give birth to the babies? Her next tweet was, "Surrogacy is possible because there are poor people. Rich people always want the existence of poverty in the society for their own interests. If you badly need to raise a child, adopt a homeless one. Children must inherit your traits. It is just a selfish, narcissistic ego." On January 23, she wrote, "I won't accept surrogacy until rich women become surrogate moms. I won't accept burqa until men wear it out of love. I won't accept prostitution until male prostitutions are built and men wait for female customers. Otherwise, surrogacy, burqa, prostitution are just exploitation of women and poor." Now, a lot of the statements that she has said are very true. When there are so many children who can be adopted, do you need to hire a womb? Now, while the choice is very personal, is that there is a pattern for these young actresses, to sort of, freeze their eggs and, decide not to have children till late, perhaps to, retain their figure or, God alone knows what is in their mind. But you see, all these people, whether it is, Karan Johar or, other people like Ekta Kapoor or her brother, all
Shilpa
of them,
Shetty,
Zinta,
Preeti
yeah,
Zinta,
all of them. Yes,
Preeti Zinta.
yeah, Preeti Zinta. And so the thing is that, see, it's a pattern. Why they're doing it, and they prefer fair children. They don't like black skin or they don't like brown skin. Again, there is a small racism element also in this. So it's very strange, And again, whatever Bollywood does, doesn't, we don't need to agree to it. Okay, and this lady did not need to pull up all her old tweets. If she has a voice as a novelist or a writer, she's perfectly entitled to it. It could be opposite of what the couple thinks. There's absolutely no reason for people to react in the way they have reacted, But then now they're getting a dose of their own, treatment, because Bollywood is being completely boycotted, and boycott Bollywood is trending on Twitter. Yeah, back to you, Jay.
Yeah, I'll just take one comment.
Yes.
This is simply because they just don't want to spoil their physique being in the
Yeah.
entertaining industry. It's all money, money, money. They just don't want to get pregnant naturally and lose out on offer. Yeah, this is one
Yes,
of the main
absolutely. It's
reasons.
about preserving their hourglass figure.
Yeah, and also they will have medical conditions, fertility conditions after a certain age. That could
Yeah,
also be one of
exactly.
the
They can't
reasons.
have children. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So coming to the next piece of news. There's a bit of unfortunate news is that seven, including Maharashtra MLA's son, killed in an accident. Prime Minister Modi condoles deaths of seven people, including some medical students and the son of an MLA, were killed in Wardha district of Maharashtra. Now, the car they were traveling fell off the bridge in January 25th. The incident occurred around 1:30 a.m. near Selsura village in the district in East Maharashtra. Prima facie, the driver of the car lost control of the vehicle, which fell off a bridge, killing seven passengers on the spot. As per the initial information, the deceased included some MBBS students and the son of Tirora BJP MLA. His name is Vijay Rahangale. PM Modi expressed pain at the loss of lives in a road accident at Selsura in Maharashtra. He also announced 2 lakh rupees each from the Prime Minister's National Relief Fund to the next of kin of those who died in the accident, and rupees 50,000 for each of the injured. Pained by the loss of lives due to an accident near Selsura in Maharashtra, in this hours of sadness, my thoughts are with those who have lost their loved ones. I pray that those injured are able to recover soon. This is what PM Modi ji said. So I do find this very suspicious, in my opinion, this accident that to the son of a
Yeah.
BJP MLA. I find it quite
Yeah,
suspicious.
absolutely. Yes. The next piece of news is Lata is stable, says spokesperson. Singing legend Lata Mangeshkar, who was admitted in the ICU of a city hospital in Mumbai, is stable, a spokesperson said on Wednesday. The 92-year-old singer tested positive for coronavirus with mild symptoms and was admitted to the Breach Candy Hospital in South Mumbai on January 9. Lalita D is stable, will come home after the doctors give the nod, Anusha Srinivas Iyer, the spokesperson for Ms. Mangeshkar, said in a statement. 2 days ago, her condition was reportedly said to be deteriorating, and the spokesperson had then dubbed the news as false. Known as the Queen of Melody and the Nightingale of India, Ms. Mangeshkar started her career at the age of 13 in 1942 and has sung over 30,000 songs in different languages. Now, here, Jaydev, see, something I'd like to comment about this is nothing can be predicted with regards to Omicron, which is a milder form of flu.
Yes.
Okay, so almost in Bangalore, almost every house has one person suffering from it. So we cannot predict what can happen. If you're unlucky, it can be quite disastrous. And if otherwise, if you're healthy and you're taking all the precautions, you could also just get over it. Which this sickness lasts over 2 weeks. So it's nothing. It's not a big thing at all. So even if people are saying that, see, Lata Mangeshkar is, took a turn for the worse, there's nothing wrong with it. She is not an immortal. So please understand that. Because I heard a lady minister, talking on her behalf, saying that, see, please do not spread rumors. Nobody is spreading rumors. Even if Lata Mangeshkar takes a turn for the worse, I mean, these are things which happen to all people. And she's also, remember, she's 92 years old. So the organs also react in a certain way. I've seen a lot of people who suffer from COVID. If they've got other diseases, they succumb to it. We're all mortal. So thank you for telling us that she's getting better. We all love Lata Didi, and we wish her good health. Yeah, back to you.
Yeah. Now, coming to the next piece of news is that Shiv Sena, according to Uddhav Thackeray, Chief Minister, Shiv Sena wasted 25 years in alliance with BJP. That's what he said. And he said Maharashtra Chief Minister and Shiv Sena President Uddhav Thackeray said he has accepted the challenge thrown by Union Home Minister Amit Shah that Sena should contest elections on its own and targeted BJP over its politically convenient Hindutva. No, I wonder what he means by politically convenient Hindutva, right? So, addressing Shiv Senics virtually on the 96th birthday anniversary of the party, of founder, his father Bal Thackeray, Mr. Thackeray said that he still believes that 25 years that Sena had spent with BJP as an ally were rotted. The Sena will try to expand its footprint outside Maharashtra and aim for a national role, he added. He said Sena had aligned with BJP for taking forward the agenda of Hindutva through power. I have accepted the challenge given by the Union Home Minister Amit Shah that Shiv Sena should contest elections on its own. So, according to Mr. Thackeray's statement, in the next election, Shiv Sena will be contesting on its own power without any alliance. This is what he is commenting. So, make a note of it. So he said when BJP was growing politically, it aligned with several regional parties, including Sena. At that time, BJP used to lose poll deposits in several places, he said. Shiv Sena had aligned with BJP as it wanted power for Hindutva. Sena never used Hindutva for the sake of power. The Sena has left BJP and not Hindutva. I believe that BJP's opportunistic Hindutva is only for power, he added. Mr. Thackeray alleged that BJP forged an opportunistic alliance with PDP in Kashmir. BJP even tied up with Nitish Kumar in Bihar, who had spoken about a Sangh Mukt, which is RSS Free Bharat, he said. Now, the Sena fell out with BJP after the 2019 Maharashtra polls and tied up with NCP and Congress, as you know, to form the Mahavikas Aghadi government. Thackeray said the Sena openly formed a post-poll alliance with Congress and NCP while BJP engineered splits in other parties and dislodged elected governments to install the party in power. He said that the National Democratic Alliance led by BJP has shrunken as old constituents like Akali Dal and Shiv Sena have already walked out of the bloc. We supported the BJP wholeheartedly to enable them to fulfill their national ambitions. The understanding was they will go national while we will lead in Maharashtra. But we were betrayed and attempts were made to destroy us in our home. So we had to hit back. So this is what Mr. Uddhav Thackeray has recently committed that
Yeah. So here,
BJP is
what I'd like to say,
opportunistic and
yeah.
making use of
So what I'd like
Hindutva.
to say is,
Yeah.
is he sleeping or is he in bed and he's speaking? God alone knows. They're showing some old files because there is no chief minister as of now in Maharashtra, and they're not bothered in the least. And who is ruling? Whether it is Aditya Thackeray or his mother, we do not know. So whether the family is ruling, we don't know. And this is something seriously the governor should look at it. The president should look at it. How can a state, function without a chief minister? So that's something very, very funny. Meanwhile, Omicron in community transmission in India has become dominant in multiple metros. Omicron is now a community transmission in India and has become dominant in multiple metros where new cases have been rising exponentially, noted Indian SARS-CoV-2 Genomics Consortium in its latest bulletin on Sunday. The consortium jointly initiated by the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and the Department of Biotechnology, among others, is a consortium of 38 labs to monitor the genomic variations in the SARS-CoV-2. The two-page bulletin of January 10, released on Sunday, adds that while most Omicron cases so far had been asymptomatic or mild, hospitalizations and ICU cases had been increasing in the current wave. The threat level remained unchanged. The recently reported new SARS-CoV-2 variant lineage was being monitored. It added and said that there was no evidence of rapid spread, and while it had features of immune escape, it was currently not a variant of concern. So far, no case detected in India, said the bulletin. It further said that BA2 lineage was a substantial fraction in India, and S gene dropout based screening was thus likely to give high false negatives. Tests suitable for PCR based screening applicable to all Omicron lineages had been approved for use, and now the S gene dropout was a genetic variation like that of Omicron. Meanwhile, the consortium, in its bulletin of January 3, had warned that Omicron is now in community transmission in India and has become dominant in Delhi and Mumbai, where new cases have been rising exponentially. It further said that the spread of Omicron in India is now expected to be through internal transmission, not foreign travelers, and a revised sampling and sequencing strategy of the consortium is being worked out to address genomic surveillance objectives in the wake of dynamic changing scenario of virus infection. Most Omicron cases so far have been asymptomatic or mild, since initial detection has primarily been in vaccinated travelers. This should now be taken to mean that Omicron infection will also be mild in high risk unvaccinated subjects. The threat level remains high and requires constant vigil as the situation rapidly evolves with community spread. It has said that adding that COVID 19 appropriate behavior and vaccination were main shields against all form mutations of SARS CoV-2 virus. Back to you, Jim.
Yeah. So coming to the next piece of news is Pakistani journalists chastised Imran Khan for hedging his bets when it came to denouncing the Taliban or the notorious terrorist Hafiz Saeed. Now, this Pakistani senior journalist, her name is Marvi Sirmid. She described Imran Khan as a coward while decoding his cryptic speech during his public engagement program, Aapka Wazir-e-Azam, Aapke Saath. Speaking during a television program, this lady opined that Khan has always played it safe in every field, including cricket. Imran Khan is a coward. If you see his journey, including his career in cricket, he's not a brave man as a person. He plays safe always. This is what she said during the TV show, citing example of the Taliban regime. Now, rebuking the Pakistan PM for hedging his bets, Marvi further added that Imran Khan never condemned the Taliban when they were killing our children and when urged to do so. Am I a fool? They will kill me as well. He, who's Imran Khan, did not condemn Hafiz Saeed. He said that if Salman got killed, why would I say anything to them? Salman Taseer is the former Punjab province governor. He got killed. Why should I say anything to them? He's a coward man. So we can't expect from him that he alone stood in front of any powerful establishment. Now, throughout the speech, Imran Khan looked very nervous and stressed. He felt sidelined and felt that he is losing his grip on the Pakistani government and some power is trying to throw him away, but he can't say it directly. She said, referring to his speech during the public interaction program. Now, Riham Khan, she is the ex-wife of Imran Khan. She also lambasted Imran Khan after attack on her car. It may be recalled that early in the month, Imran Khan's ex-wife Riham Khan had also slammed her former husband and Pakistani PM saying that Pakistan has become a land of cowards, thugs, and greedy under Imran Khan's rule. The statement came on January 3rd when she took to Twitter to reveal that her vehicle was fired at and held at gunpoint while she was coming back from her nephew's wedding. She had attacked her ex-husband and questioned if the incident was a projection of his new Pakistan rhetoric. This isn't the first time Riham Khan has criticized Imran Khan. She was in the past calling him fake and hypocrite. Now, in 2019, she called Khan a closet bigot and claimed he regularly made derogatory comments on Hindus. So, yeah, Imran Khan has been from the receiving end from his own ex-wife, journalists, and even people within Pakistan
See, I'm
because
not surprised, Jaydev. See, because the kind of treatment the country is giving minority, that is Hindus, in
yeah.
Pakistan shows his hatred for Hindus. You know, and this is something that what she has clearly said is very true. Okay, moving on to justice for Lavanya. Justice for Lavanya becomes a call to action. BJP launches massive agitation in Tamil Nadu after the girl committed suicide because of forced conversion by the school. S. Muruganathan, pointed out that Tanjavur police was trying to protect the perpetrators who had tortured his daughter to convert to Christianity. In his petition, he highlighted how the minor girl was made to clean toilets, utensils, and cook food by hostel warden Sagaya Mary for refusing to give in to their demands. On the 19th of Jan 2022, Lavanya, a 12th standard student, breathed her last after battling the consequences of her suicide attempt. Student of Sacred Heart Higher Secondary School, Lavanya, had ingested pesticides after being tortured and pressurized to convert to Christianity by the school. Now, friends, I'd like you to note the name of the school because what they have done is inexcusable. And I would request all the people in Tamil Nadu not to send their children to at least this school because this is not fair. Her dying declaration, originally in Tamil, said, "My name is Lavanya. They, which is the school, had asked my parents in my presence if they can convert me to Christianity and help her for further studies. Since I didn't accept, they kept scolding me." She also named one Rachel Mary, who had allegedly tortured her. Lavanya had been living at the St. Michael's Girls' Hostel near her school for the past 5 years, and the government aided Christian missionary school had been pressurizing her to convert to Christianity. However, Lavanya was adamant about not leaving her religion and refused to get converted. Angered by Lavanya's resistance, the school administration cancelled her leave application for Pongal celebrations. Lavanya, who was supposed to visit home during her holidays, was forced to do chores like cleaning toilets of the school, cooking, and washing dishes. It is reported that a dejected Lavanya consumed pesticides used in the school garden to end her life. It has been days since the news of 17-year-old committing suicide surfaced. The media, on its part, has maintained a stoic silence. In fact, the Times of India went a step ahead and tried to secularize the incident. In the initial report, they wrote that Lavanya had ended her life because she was forced to clean rooms. Times of India failed to mention in the headline that Lavanya was forced to clean toilets, not for the act itself, but because she refused to convert to Christianity. Not just the headline, Times of India refused to mention that the girl committed suicide because she was being forced to commit suicide. While the media looked away, the Tamil Nadu administration started harassing the individual who recorded the dying declaration. During the hearing, the girl's father, S. Muruganandam, informed the court that the cops were trying to implicate the man who had recorded the dying declaration of the class 12 child for revealing the identity of the minor girl. He also demanded a CBCID investigation into the death of his daughter. He also pointed out that the Tanjavur police was trying to protect the perpetrators who had tortured his daughter to convert to Christianity. In the petition, he highlighted how the minor girl was made to clean toilets, utensils, and cook food by the hostel warden, Sagaya Mary, for refusing to give in to their demands. The Madras High Court passed an interim order restraining the police from harassing the man. The court directed the cops to conduct themselves appropriately after the girl's father had submitted before it. The incident should have sparked massive outrage over the methods adopted by missionary schools operating in Tamil Nadu. It should have triggered a reckoning among the society, drawing people on the streets and demanding the state government to bring necessary laws to put an end to conversions in missionary schools. However, there was deafening silence amongst those who claimed to care about the rights of women and children. Several Hindu organizations and individuals have, however, come out demanding for accountability and action against Sacred Heart Higher Secondary School. Prabal Pratap Singh Judav, the head of the All India Ghar Wapasi Abhiyan, has come out vociferously demanding action against the perpetrators. Chhattisgarh BJP Secretary Prabal Pratap said the suicide of the daughter, Lavanya, in Tamil Nadu has left him stunned. Lavanya has taken a step like suicide due to harassment by Christian missionaries. I have no hesitation in saying that Christian missionaries bargain for service and use all kinds of tricks to convert. Opposing it is the only remedy. Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad activists have also demanded strict action against the missionary school for torturing and claiming the life of a young girl. They've appealed to the governor of Tamil Nadu to ensure justice in Lavanya's case. In the memo sent to the governor of Tamil Nadu, ABVP has said that the entire nation is shocked by the unfortunate incident where Lavanya had to commit suicide because she was being tortured to convert to Christianity. The memo further said that the Tamil Nadu police was actively shielding the perpetrators and was not working to bring closure to the case? Back to you.
Yeah, see, in this case, I would like to add one point from myself is that it is high time India adopts uniform civil code.
Yeah.
There is one law for all religions. Like there should not be any special minorities or anything like that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, all religions are equal, and that uniform civil code should be passed as soon as possible in the parliament.
Yeah.
Yeah. So coming to the next piece of interesting news is that High Court proposes to reduce the cost imposed on Juhi Chawla from rupees 20 lakh to rupees 2 lakhs in the 5G lawsuit. Now, the Delhi High Court proposed to reduce from 20 lakh to 2 lakhs the cost imposed on Juhi Chawla and two others by a single judge while dismissing her plea against the 5G rollout, with a condition that she would have to do some work for public costs, considering that she's a celebrity and has presence in public. Juhi Chawla's counsel, senior advocate Salman Khurshid, on instructions from her, consented to the court's suggestion, which came during her hearing of an appeal by Juhi Chawla and two others against the order dismissing her lawsuit against the 5G rollout. A bench of Justices Vipin Sanghi and Jasmeet Singh issued notice to Delhi State Legal Services Authority Secretary seeking his response on the appeal and listed in the matter for further hearing on January 27. Khurshid submitted that if the cost amount could be waived, they could go back to pursue the case. To this, the bench proposed to the council that it would reduce the cost amount, but this would come with the condition that Chawla would have to do some public work. We will not waive the cost completely, but we will reduce it to 2 lakhs from 20 lakh rupees. But that comes with a condition that considering your client is a celebrity and has presence in the public, so she should do some public work also. Her image and position may be utilized by the society for some public work. So will she do it? She could do a program for DSLSA here. DSLSA people will contact her and they could work out something and she can feature it in it and could promote. Khurshid said it would be an honor for her and it would be a lifetime opportunity and sought a passover to take instruction from the actress on it. Now, while issuing the notice to DSLSA, the bench said that it was not inclined to issue notice to other respondents at this stage, considering that the plaint has been returned to the appellants following the single judge's order, and their primary grievance is relating to the payment of rupees 20 lakh cost amount to the DSLSA. Regarding the prayer to exempt them from the payment of court fees, the High Court asks why should there be an exception, and it is not that the actress does not have the means to pay it. Everyone pays the court fees. She also has to pay it. Now, in June last year, the single judge had described a lawsuit by Chawla and two others against 5G rollout as defective, abuse of process of law, and filed for gaining publicity while dismissing it with a cost of rupees 20 lakhs. Now, it is claimed that a plaint can be dismissed only after it has been allowed to be registered as a suit. Now, in the lawsuit, the appellants had claimed that if the telecom industry's plans for 5G comes to fruition, no person, animal, bird, insect, and plant on Earth will be able to avoid exposure 24 hours a day, 365 days a year to levels of RF radiation that are 10 to 100 times greater than what exists today. It had sought a direction to the authorities to certify to public that at large how 5G technology is safe to humans, animals, and every type of living organism, flora and fauna. While dismissing the lawsuit, the single judge had said the plaint in which questions have been raised about health hazards due to 5G technology was not maintainable and was stuffed with unnecessary, scandalous, frivolous, and vexatious averments. So this is the latest with regards to Juhi Chawla's case with regards to the 5G.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in UP, Nahid Hassan, accused of orchestrating Hindu exodus in Kairana among 10 Muslim candidates, have been allotted with SP tickets silently. The Samajwadi Party has allotted seats to Muslim candidates with criminal charges for phase 2 of the upcoming UP Assembly elections, but it has consciously refrained from officially declaring them, choosing to remain silent than publicizing its list of candidates. The Samajwadi Party has silently allotted at least 10 seats to Muslim candidates for a phase two of elections, including, please listen to this carefully, friends, gangster Nahid Hassan, who was responsible for the migration of Hindus out of Kairana in 2016. According to a report by News 18, the party has allotted seats to Muslim candidates with criminal charges for phase two of the upcoming UP Assembly elections, but it has consciously refrained from officially declaring them. The party has already announced tickets for 13 Muslim candidates in phase one of the UP elections of 2022. Nahid Hassan, who is accused of conducting the exodus of Hindus from Kairana, was given a ticket by the Samajwadi Party. The SP MLC was arrested under the Gangster Act a day after filing his nomination from SP. Hindu families were forced to flee due to repeated threats and attack from Muslim locals in Kairan, which is a Muslim majority town. This is very similar to what happened in Kashmir. After criticism rose, the SP replaced Hassan's candidature by giving a ticket to his sister. While the Samajwadi Party has not declared lists of contesting candidates officially, it has released statements about 10 Muslim candidates in phase two and one candidate contesting in phase three who happens to face criminal charges. Muslim candidates who were given tickets from Amaroha, Mirganj, Behat, Shishamau, Bhojipura, Baheri, Chamruha, Dampur, Shahjahanpur, Chandpur, and Thakur Dwara seats face criminal charges. It is directed as per the rules of the Election Commission for a party to declare officially about the criminal cases faced by its candidates before elections. The move came after BSP allotted 23 seats to Muslims for phase two. While the party has already allotted 17 seats to Muslim candidates for phase one, for the first two phases of the election, the Samajwadi Party has given tickets to over 20% of Muslim candidates, while the BSP has given 35% of total seats to Muslims by now. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has already leveled allegations against the Samajwadi Party led alliance for giving tickets to history cheaters and gangsters. Last week, Yogi Adityanath fired fresh salvos at the Akhilesh Yadav's party, calling it a riot lover and Tamanchawadi over the party's first list of candidates for the upcoming state assembly polls. Those whose basic character is undemocratic, criminal, dynastic, talk of democracy and development from them is laughable. The list of assembly election candidates confirms that SP is a riot lover and a Tamanchawadi tweeted Yogi in Hindi. So now, friends, you all know who UP should vote for. It's certainly not the red topiwalas because they'll give you only crime. That is what their candidates are proving. Yeah, so that's all the news for now, friends. We'll take your comments and also invite you to join us if you'd like to share your comments. Yeah. So let's just take the comments, Jyoti. Karthik says, SSR ka case itna asani se nahi hoga solve. SSR had hit a stone in the hornet's nest called Gutterwood, and all the hornets are still flying around, hence wait. Now, this is a very important point because, a very biased BBC says that, YouTubers are threatening Bollywood. Now, when the truth and the dirt of Bollywood has already been exposed by SSR, which is being echoed by journalists, independent journalists on YouTube, they seem to be very worried because public is now on a boycott Bollywood frame of mind, and none of the movies are succeeding, whether it's in theaters or in OTP platforms. So it's they don't know where to go. So now they're catching these jihadi news channels like BBC, to tell us what they think about us. We know exactly what we are saying, and if there's any question, we are all supporting everything with facts. So if you've got anything new to tell us, please do tell us.
Yeah, I mean, BBC is a far left media house. It has always been
very jihadi.
It has always been a far left media house, and it has been one of the mouthpieces of Bollywood, I would say. Yeah. And it just shows, Bollywood is in a very positive light, and I was shocked to see that they have made a documentary of one of the SSR Warrior YouTube channels and showing him and saying that he's sort of defaming Bollywood. And right now, their BBC is so afraid that, I mean, Bollywood is so afraid that they have to pay BBC X amount of money to make a documentary on all the YouTube channels that are sort of bringing the truth of Bollywood and awakening the people who have been blind so far.
Yeah,
They are, because right now not even a single Bollywood film has become a hit in the since the past 2 years after Sushant's demise. So you can clearly see how people are angry with regards to this, and Bollywood cannot digest that fact. They cannot digest the new reality. So that's why they have to pay BBC India to make a documentary, sort of to bring down all these YouTube channels.
Joshi says very well. Joshi says that, see, they're trying to make it a highly Muslimized state, which Yogi is not allowing it to happen. Very well said, Joshi. And Minky says on point, Jaydev. Now, here's a comment which I would say negative from Arvind. He says, you people are really good covering all the news, but you repeat the news after the headline at least 3 to 4 times. Here, Arvind, what I'd like to tell you is that, see, initially when we introduce the news, we give a typical introduction because we want the people to gather. Okay, it's as it becomes 8 o'clock, people just start gathering, and it's then that we start giving the news. And the very reason that we repeat a headline and then the news again is that for you to just understand it better. That's all. If you look at any news channel, it's the same. So if this is particularly different for you, then you should tell us. And we are trying our best to make it as concise and precise as possible. Maya says, yes, the very same Salman Khurshid who also flaunted his video with a young Muslim boy shouting Allah's name. Yes. Maya. Yes, Meenaji, the bully pimp would, after realizing the power of boycott and their fortune sinking, they go running to all the latest BBC Hindi with their sob story, egging for help. Karma hits back. See, here again, Maya, see, look at the kind of hypocrisy these people have. Now, for example, just take the case of Anushka and Virat Kohli. Now, they keep begging the media, please do not show our daughter. Okay, we're not interested in your daughter. Really, we aren't. And then you look at Bollywood news, and the first thing you see is both of them sitting at a breakfast table with the child facing, its back to us. We're not interested. Then why are you throwing these pictures at us? If you want attention, tell us. We'll give you as much attention as you want. And then you have another news item saying that, see, the child looks exactly like Virat Kohli. Who did you expect it to look up? Look then. Look. It's Virat's child. It has to look like Virat. What are the kind of headlines these Bollywood channels are running, or these Bollywood digital media are running? They say don't cover it, then they cover it. And then the funny thing I noticed today was that, see, you have these cabal telling the young girls, please strip as much as possible. Now you see Rashmika, in the airport only wearing a t-shirt. Now we don't know whether she's forgotten her shorts or she's forgotten her pants, and has come, absent-mindedly to the airport. And then you look at someone like Ananya. Now she's forgotten, it looks like she's forgotten her t-shirt. Because she's showing us pictures, with something like that looks like a bra. And then after that, you see Kajal's daughter, wearing something between, a t-shirt that's coming down and a shorts that's going up. So she doesn't know whether she wants to take her t-shirt off or a shorts off. So when you guys in Bollywood are telling your children or your youngsters to strip in a world that is not safe, I do not have any problems with girls wearing revealing clothes. But when you have so many crimes happening, it is your duty as parents to tell your children to dress well, at least dress neatly, and don't push them into what looks like, cheap publicity, obscenity. Then there's another girl, I don't know, Jaydev, I forget the girl's name. She keeps wearing something, Urfi. She keeps wearing something that is supposed to be a dress, but covers nothing. Bollywood, you set your own standards. And the moment we criticize it, that you say, please do not give us any publicity. Shilpa Shetty will, say some Gayatri mantra for her daughter, and everybody laughs at it because it sounds so funny. There's no seriousness in Bollywood. Everything is mocked, whether it's a mantra or anything. So, and then when people troll you, you get so upset. Chitra, Ananya is promoting her movie with Deepika all about adultery. Yeah, see, even in this, Chitra, what they were saying is that you have a kissing scene between the hero and Deepika for a very long time, and it's a Karan Johar movie. Now, what are they doing? Are they promoting adultery? Which is what they were doing in their series in OTP platforms. Okay. Now, since everybody after the incident where Deepika was pulled up by the NCB, for possessing drugs, and her denying it, as calling it mal. Mal means high cigarettes. She hasn't been getting any attention. And after the marriage, even her husband's movies have flopped. Now the only way to get back is to kiss, have a kissing parade. Looks like Karan Johar is helping her in that.
And even Ananya Pandey had WhatsApp chats with Aryan Khan with regards to procurement of drugs and stuff.
Yes. And Karthik says, heights of pathetic PR. There is a book mentioned in Deccan Herald for review on Sallu called Salman Khan, the man, the actor, and the legend. Such a joke. He himself is scared. Now he is suing some YouTuber because his neighbor said that there are bodies under his farm. Now you cannot stop people. If he's a neighbor, you better fight it out in court. You can't tell people to cover it up. If that man goes around giving interviews, then the problem is with the man, not with the YouTubers. Well done. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, is what's happening. In fact, they're dying to leak the photographs themselves. See, if you look at Facebook, as I mentioned before, see, everybody is so desperate, whether it's Malaika, who's already been dumped by Arjun, or it is, Sri Devi's daughter, Janvi, who's coming out of the gym. I don't think she has any other job because she's all the time coming or going into a gym. Now, whether that's her activity or whether she's doing PR for the gym, we are not sure because she doesn't have any movies in hand. And all of them wearing some skimpy clothes and then waiting for the photographers to say, Janvi ji, one photograph, please pose, please show your back. So they think that that's attention. That's not attention. So they don't understand that this is all cheap publicity. Even if you get fame like this, your movies are not going to become hits. We should campaign to raid all the farmhouses. Absolutely. Monisha, disgusting for Bollywood. Yes. We should campaign to raid all the yes. Shalini, and youngsters follow their styles. Yes. Publicity के लिए कुछ भी करेगा ये लोग. Let me just take some more comments. Yes, Meenaji, the bully pinfoot, after realizing the power of boycott and their fortune sinking, they go running to all latest BBC Hindi with their sob story egging for help. Karma hits back. This is to please Muslims, just to give a feeling Muslims will be safe under SP rule. Yes, this is a mission. देखो बिपिन रावत का केस सॉल्व नहीं हुआ. Joshi, I sometimes see a very negative, trait in your comments. Maya, isn't this Kushi the same guy who compared RSS to Boko Haram? Yes. And then these people, when they have problem, for example, when the floods happened in Kashmir, these separatists, who helped them? It was the RSS and the army who helped them. So when they are drowning, they need RSS. How can they compare them with Boko Haram? Boko Haram is another form of ISIS. Everybody knows that. They go around raping school children. Yogi ji has openly come out in support of Hairana Hindus, saying he won't allow them to suffer the fate of absolutely Kashmiri Hindus. This should not happen. Friends, it's very important that you do not only listen to the news, please convey it to your friends. Share it as much as possible because we do not want atrocities to happen in India. We have to protect our country and our people. Nisha, during that online hearing session, one of Juhi's fans interrupted the session by singing her songs. That was hilarious. मेरे मतलब है कि सुशांत के पीछे बहुत बड़ा नेक्सस है वो सॉल्व होते ये तो अपने आप सॉल्व होता है here Joshi just like what Karthik also said is that you cannot wait for SSR's case to be solved. If Lavanya needs to get justice, she needs to get justice. It can't be pushed into the background. Things have to go parallelly. Okay, we cannot forget the atrocity done to a young girl because of conversion tactics. So each case needs to get importance while it goes parallel to SSR case. I just read online that pilots are scared to fly to the US because of 5G. Okay. Maya says, Khurshid arguing for Juhi shows the cabal presence among the lawyers, even in SC. Then no wonder money is more important than justice. Since Salman Khurshid himself is under cloud for his NGO. You know, a funny thing is, Maya, in Congress, all of these are, many of them are lawyers, And if you look at the reputation of these lawyers, it's absolutely sickening. You look at some of the lawyers, they even, if women need posts, they stoop to any level to give them posts. Then they compromise. So these are all very famous cases. Maya says, yes, Jaydev, not just uniform civil code, but anti-conversion bill too should be passed at the earliest. Yes.
Yes.
अक्षय एसएसआर के लिए न्याय का मूवमेंट तो चल ही रहा है बाकी सब अपने आप नहीं होगा जब तक हम कुछ नहीं करते कुछ नहीं होता यस वेल सेड कल देखो उसकी बेटी की फोटो लीक हो गई झूठ बोलने की भी हद होती है मीडिया को अब तक उसकी बेटी की फोटोज नहीं कल की खींच लिया खुद ही लीक करते फुटेज के लिए ऊपर से गंदा statements. I don't know whether you're talking about Lavanya. Strict laws are needed desperately. Conversions should be put to an end. Hope this time around we can see some serious and quick action. Yes, Nisha. So in other words, freedom of religion is also gone out of the window now. No one stood up for her in her school. Illegal conversion is rampant in Chhattisgarh also, madam. Wonder why no one who witnessed such cruelty in the school, neither her friends or any teacher tried to help her. Here, let me tell you, Chandrika, that see, there's a lot of, they act like, dictators, these nuns, and of course, they get their orders from even above. And they can be quite scary because I know when we were children, if you're studying in a Christian school, they can give you all sorts of punishment. So it's not, children get scared. And perhaps in spite of this, the girl tried to protest. And I would say that she was a brave soul because she wanted to go home for holidays, for Pongal. So in many ways, I would say that the poor girl was rather brave. Virat was chewing gum when national anthem was being played. Hope you saw that. Terrible. So much of arrogance. I don't know what. I think sometimes he's stoned, Karthik, because sometimes his eyes look so vague. He doesn't look at anyone directly, and there's so much of anger in them. Chitra saw Lavanya's parents being quizzed for not raising the problems earlier. Very sad to see her parents go through so much pain by these DMK reporters. Chitra says this so well. Chitra, we had now the case is happening in a Stalin-ruled government, and Stalin is against Hindus. He's shown that very clearly. And he has an agenda. Maya, folks like Virat think his daughter's photo being clicked in invasion of her privacy, but torturing of Lavanya to convert is nothing to be commented, let alone be noticed. Yes. Also here, Maya, I'd like to tell you something. Yesterday was the Girl Child Day. And I also saw a minister saying that we should, a woman minister, cabinet minister saying that, see, we should help, encourage, educate young girls, and we should, so she started talking a lot about this. But she chose to ignore about Lavanya, and she chose to ignore about the other women that we are fighting for, whether it was Disha, who was gang raped, whether it is, you're talking about Jia Khan, Janvi Kukreja, so many women. These were all children. How old was Janvi when she was killed? So you mean to say you will care only for certain children? Is that what you're saying as a woman and child minister? Do not give us, just lip service. We want you to take action. You have every right to ban the school and let them only open when they clearly tell us what happened to the girl. You have every right to close the school. Don't tell us in the center you cannot do. You're in power. Please do it. Maya says Rana Ayub has been trolled for her calling Saudis as bloodthirsty savages. Many called out saying she's supporting Yemeni terrorists who killed two Saudis and reminded Rana that Saudi is not India. Yes, in fact, that's very, very true. Lena, Taliban delegation is now in Norway to collect donations. They got 7 million Norwegian NRK. That's shocking, Lena. I mean, I wouldn't give them even 10 rupees for the kind of agenda, they're spreading in Afghanistan for what they're doing to women and children. I don't know what sort of people. Jasna says, not a single mainstream news channel covered anything on SSR on his birth anniversary. Shocking, absolutely, And then you also have his sister saying something very vaguely, and then praising Smita, and talking. I don't understand. You're a lawyer. You're a Supreme Court lawyer. Go to the court and say the CBI is not working. Pull them up. It's your brother who died. And he did not die normally. He was murdered most heinously. I would really tell Priyanka and all the other sisters, please go and approach the Supreme Court. And I also see that here I'd like to make a mention that they are very selective when they give interviews. I had asked for an interview of Priyanka. She did not give us an interview. She only gave interviews to certain channels like Varun or to, I don't know which other channel, Jayati, we would say, I don't remember. Yes, Ujjwal Trivedi. So, and these are channels where Smita is very close. Smita Parekh is very close to these channels. And hence, I suppose she's the one who's facilitating these interviews. Now, if this sister is really, so bothered about getting justice for Sushant, she should not be differentiating between channels that are fighting for SSR's justice. So this is something I felt, rather strange. Karthik, I hope Ukraine doesn't become another Syria. I have a feeling that it is going that way. Europe is almost going to war. Yes. Nisha, during COVID, RSS fed so many people and helped out so much. None of their good works I ever appreciated. Such a shame. Very well said, Nisha. I always appreciate your comments. They're so much to the point. I don't know how much of this is true, but they say newcomers and less known stars pay to the agencies to send their photographers to airports and gyms for their clicks. Yes, this is what they do. Because that's the only way Bollywood can get any sort of,
I would like to add to Bardhan is that these so-called even newcomers and actually the lesser known stars, especially female stars, they sort of resort to exposing their skin or dancing in very vulgar videos in Instagram just to get views and followers and publicity. This is one way that they are trying to harness followers and views. So this is one of the reasons why.
Yeah. Karthik, very well said. This is also something that I believe. I'm shocked to know Ujjwal is close to Smita. This is bad. I've been following him after SSR. Putin, they say, has threatened to cut off the gas supply to Europe. So I'll just take a few more comments, friends, and then we'll just a second. Maya says, Taslima tweet is right. The surrogacy is a rich woman's fad. As long as poor women can be made to rent her womb, the elites, not just Bollywoodians, go for the easy way out with money. Here also, Maya, what I'd like to say is they're so racist. They want white children. They don't want brown children. They don't want yellow children. They don't want black children. They want children with very fancy names, calling them Papa and Mama. There's something behind it. And I wouldn't say it's only to retain their figures, there is something more to it. And perhaps these things will come out later. Karthik says, my intuition says these surrogacies of these so called stars has something to do with the Illuminati and the cabal and adrenochrome. I don't get any connection as of now. This is what I also sense. So I think there's something more. Thank you, friends, for all your comments. I'll see you tomorrow. Saffron Tiger will be joining us tomorrow, and we'll have another good session tomorrow. Please keep your questions also ready for him. Thank you, and good night.